In 1990, I designed a group of fabrics that I call the Palette Fabric Collection. It is a group that now has 150 different fabrics. They're all shaded together, and they pretty much cover the spectrum of colors. Dealing with 150 bolts of fabric is pretty cumbersome, and even trying to get 150 cut pieces of fabric in any kind of order. So I decided we needed a tool that would help us work with the whole 150 group of fabrics. So you know how they have those fan decks of paints that are all together in this booklet, and you can fan them out and they're shaded by colors, and I thought that's what we needed. So I developed the portable palette with that in mind. It contains all 150 fabrics, and it's an excellent tool for working with colors. I'm going to show you a couple of examples so you can see how you would use this. One of the fun things I like to do in a class is I give the students a portable palette and have them turn it upside down, and somebody picks a swatch, any swatch. Then we pick 20 swatches in order and fan them out, and I have them still have it upside down, so they fan them all out in order. And once they're all fanned out, you turn it over and look at it, and it's such fun to see 20 different palettes of colors. So I'm going to choose a swatch right here. These swatches all have numbers on it, so this is 22. I can take 20 swatches in order, so I could go from 22 to 42, or I could go from 22 down to 2, but I think I'll go to 42. So we've got these 20 swatches in order in the palette. Then I have everybody turn them over, and it's really exciting to see what they've come up with. And usually it's colors they would have never ever thought of putting together. So we can try another example. I mean, it works every time no matter what you choose. So I'm going to pull one out here. My 20 swatches in order. And you can see how 20 swatches, no matter where you go within the range of the palette fabrics, all shade beautifully together. I was recently in Mexico City, and down in the city center encountered this incredible mural, and I thought, what a wonderful color combination to use for a quilt. So I took a close-up photo of it, and then I began putting the fabrics together, and interestingly enough, they kind of fell right in order. First of all, the great greens, golds, yellows, and the oranges, and then there were blues, sort of these, really incredible blues. I'll pull out a section of blues. You can see these colors up against the mural. It's a great way to choose a palette of colors from an inspiration photo. You don't have to take the swatches in order the way they shade together. Well, let's say your kids' school colors are orange and purple. You want to do something to make a quilt with these colors. Now they're far separated in the palette. You can see how much is in between. You don't have to use colors that are right next to each other. You can do groups of colors. So I'll take that orange and I'll just go from that orange all the way as dark as I can possibly get. So I've got this group that are all together as dark as I can get. So it takes me through the reds and burgundies, and then I'll do the same thing with the purple. I will take it through and go as dark as I can get with the purple. Might add a few lighter purples just to lighten it up a little bit. So just keep going in order with these to get down to some lighter colors. And that just might be the nicest orange and purple quilt ever made. Get the shading in there, and that's what the palette and the palette fabric collection helps you do, is get that shading of colors. I often use the portable palette to select fabrics to go with the theme fabrics. Let's say I found this wonderful paisley and I wanted to use it in a quilt. So first of all, I will pull out the colors that I'm seeing there, and they kind of all shade together. So I'm going to pull out this group of yellows, which shade into green, which shade into the blues and teals. On the yellow end, I want to get into some of the more red yellows as well, and from there I'll go into the browns, and then from the other side down into some of those pretty blues. And there you have a palette of colors that would go with that fabric. I have a computer that does 26 million colors. I designed this palette fabric collection because quilters did not have a full range of colors to work with. Quilters were at the mercy of the fabric manufacturers. People who do embroidery, who do needlepoint, they have wide ranges of embroidery floss and yarns that cover the whole color spectrum, and we didn't have that. And I felt it was time for quilters to have a standard group of colors that span the spectrum as well. And that's why I created the palette fabric collection, and that's why I created the tool, the portable palette, to use with that collection. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson on using the portable palette. I find the palette an invaluable tool when designing quilts, and I know you will too. Something important to keep in mind, however. The portable palette is meant to be used as a color guide for selecting fabrics. You don't have to use exactly those fabrics. You probably have a lot of fabrics in your stash that has similar colors. You'll definitely want to pull those fabrics first or visit your local quilt shop. Then if you can't find just the right shade, you know every one of those 150 fabrics is always available to you, so you can always find the perfect fabric for your quilts. Happy quilting!